Greetings, everyone. Welcome to day two. Give me a moment here. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to day two of the Master Your Life Masterclass. Yes, yes, yes. 1 2 20 1 2 2021. Second day of the brand new year of the second year in the decade of the 20s. Okay, so yesterday I talked a bit about the organ clock, and I'm going to share a bit more about that with you today, giving you more insights in how to maintain your body in alignment with the way that it is aligned with time. Talked about the large intestine and the stomach yesterday. Okay, well, we are in a different time frame at this point. I'm going to pull up an organ clock that I did. So, homework assignment. Are you ready? Homework assignment. Okay, there's a thing that I do I call ask your device. So I'm going to be telling you to ask your device on several occasions throughout this entire process over the 30-day period, because part of this process is also realigning with the time called now. There's technology that we can utilize for our benefits. So in order for us to do that, we have to know how to use that technology to our benefits. And the simplest thing that you can do is ask your device. If you have a question, ask your device. You can ask me, you can ask your device. I'm going to ask my device and probably give you information that my device has given me, of course, filtered through my processing. So you can ask your device. And this is also a process from as far as information goes. You're going to ask your device, you're going to gain information, you're going to gain awareness, you're going to have an experience based upon the information that you gain. And as I say, when you have experience and you have an issue, you overcome that issue, you become more aware of different information. Your job is to share that. So in the process of gaining knowledge and information, sharing knowledge and information, you're going to increase the potential for not only your health and well-being, but for those around you. That's how I do. That's going to be part of the process of keeping it moving, keeping it going, keeping it flowing when it comes to health and optimal well-being within the community. I myself am a global, local community elder, and embracing that at this stage in my life, I'm compelled to do what I'm doing now. The information, the knowledge that I've gained, I got to share it. So I'm going to keep that going. I'm going to keep it moving, and I'm going to keep it going, and I'm going to keep it flowing into you for your betterment, for your family, for humanity. Okay? So ask your device. Open up your device now. Say, show me an organ clock. I'm going to show you an organ clock that I hand drew. So what you're going to do when your device shows you that, you're going to take time out. You're going to get a big piece of paper or a small piece of paper. You're going to get a circular, maybe a pot lid, and you're going to draw a circle. And within that circle, you're going to draw some lines, from the 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, straight up and down, across. And you're going to divide that into 12 sections, because there's 12 times during the day, 12 2-hour sections during the day, that each organ has energetic proficiency or the potential thereof, depending upon how you feed that organ. So let me pull up my clock here. Or let me share my screen first off. Forgot to do that. Go back here, share screen. Okay, so now I'm sharing my screen. This is one of the clocks. Let me move this. Okay, let me increase the size on this. This is based on the clock that I showed you yesterday. I copied, in my own handwriting. There's a couple of different designs that you're going to see when you get asked for an organ clock. Okay, this is yesterday. Remember, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. 5 to 7 a.m. That's the time of the large intestine. And what do? We get our lime water and our lemon water. I'm going to give you one caveat to that. Okay, in AM, you do movement, exercise, breath work, and okay, here we go right here. Oil pulling. Now this clock I created myself, and I put in information based upon the time of the day, the organ, and also what we are to doing in the way of what we are to be ingesting physically and mentally, our thought processes, our activities, whether or not we're supposed to be working, and so on. Okay, remember yesterday I showed you the clock. It said, you get up, you go to the bathroom, you drink water, and go for a brisk walk. Okay, and I mentioned doing breath work exercise in bed. Okay, so that's what we're talking about here. Movement and exercise, breath work. Oil pulling is the one caveat before you drink your water, lime or lemon water. Okay, so typically you want to do first thing you're going to put in your mouth. That's the operative thing. First thing you're going to put in your mouth before you brush your teeth or put something in there to eat. There are two things you do. One thing primarily you're going to do every single day, no matter what. That is to drink that room temperature water, 16 ounces of room temperature water with the juice of half a lemon or a lime. I'm not going to go back over everything that I shared with you yesterday about how to alkalizes. Review that video. I'm going to put up a little card, as they call it, that's you will a link that will allow you to access that. And you're going to see that consistently throughout this process. So I'm not going to continue to mention that. I will, but I'm not going to do it excessively. Okay, so you're going to tap on that link. It'll appear above, little white box, a rectangular long box, and it'll have the information of, the title of that video. So you're going to, if you want to refer back to that video to get that information, do so. Okay, for now, we're going to talk about this oil pulling. Like I said, every single day from now on, you're going to have your room temperature water with the juice of half a lemon or a lime to activate all of those phenomenal things that you're going to remember and be reminded of when you look at the video that is applicable, the one I shared yesterday, 1/1/2021. Okay, so the one thing that you will do periodically, and I'm going to say at least once per strong, not per week, because we don't do weeks. So every 7 days is not we're not having 7 weekdays. We're having 7 strong days. We're not going to have a weekend. We're going to have a strong beginning. That's where you are now. Words have power. I'm going to talk about that in this process as well. Back to the oil pulling. So you're going to get some virgin coconut oil, or should I say organic coconut oil. Now, this doesn't look like oil at the moment because it's solid. Let me tell you about oil before I tell you about oil pulling. I use coconut oil. Coconut oil has ketones, which are energy molecules that gives nourishment and energy to the brain and to the muscles. So I'll talk more about that later. Primarily, we're going to use it for oil pulling. We're not going to consume it in this process here. What we're going to do is we're going to take a teaspoon or a tablespoon. We're going to scoop out a small amount. This is an adequate amount. Can be a little less, can be a little more. I don't like to have my mouth really full when I start, so I'll start with a small amount. This is a tablespoon, but it has a little more than a teaspoon amount. You can take a teaspoon, and a level teaspoon is adequate. And what you're going to do is you're going to put this in your mouth. I'm not going to do it now because I'm talking. You're going to put that in your mouth, and you're going to swish. You're going to swish for 20 minutes. So you're going to go just like you're going to do with your lime water. You're going to do that for 20 minutes. What's going to happen in that 20-minute time period is this. That oil, it's going to say this is a tooth. It's going, and of course, the tooth is inside the gums. So it's going to get up in between and around the teeth and the gums, between the teeth and the gums. And it's going to pull debris and bacteria from between the teeth and the gums. Also, since you're doing this first thing in the morning between 5 and 7 a.m., since you just came up, got up from that equilibrium state of lying flat, and you're coming up, remember I talked about that yesterday. Review that video if you need a reminder. Your intestines, all of your digestive system, as it's laying there, everything is working internally and it's doing its thing. You know, things are being shunted from one organ to the next, whether it's liquid or whether it's uh, fibrous material, and it's getting into the bloodstream, and it's being cleansed. The organs are being cleansed of all of the debris and liquid and what have you. So the waste, the excess is going down, including the excess nutrients. That's why you want, and the kidneys actually process nutrients. You don't want to overload your kidneys with excess nutrients. We're going to talk about that in this process. So all of that stuff goes, the urinary bladder, the gallbladder, the colon is going to be holding and housing all of these constituents that have to be released in the AM. And pardon me. And that oil, when you put it in your mouth, since the digestive tract is a very long tube that starts here, it starts here and it goes throughout the body and snakes around and has these bags, as I call them, the various organs that houses these constituents that I mentioned: the stomach, the spleen, the liver, the gallbladder, the bladder, the kidneys, the colon, the transverse colon, the large intestine, small intestines. All of those organs and others that I didn't mention are part of the digestive tract that ends in the colon and the rect and comes out of the rectum. So since those organs are empty now, should be, the surface area of those organs are like an open space, if you will. So as you're swishing in your mouth on a very minute molecular level, some of the stuff that's on the lining of those organs gets pulled all the way back up. And I'm not talking about a lot of stuff. I'm talking about fine particles that are ready to be released. Things like mucus, bacteria, and what have you. And so you're cleansing, you're actually pulling that stuff up to be spit out. And when you spit this oil out, remember, this is coconut oil. It's solid. It's not running down the spoon. And before you get to ask me this question about if it's solid in the pipes, because I'm going to tell you about that, why we want to eat it. Okay, I digress. You don't spit this into your pipes. After you've swished for 20 minutes and got that really clean oral hygiene thing going, and the cleansing of the digestive organs by removing plaque and mucus over time, of course, bit by bit, you're going to spit that out into, if you have an outdoor situation, onto the ground. If you don't have an outdoor situation, you can do it in a pot. But if you're going to do it on, a potted plant, but if you're going to do that on a regular basis, I wouldn't suggest you just flood that plant over a few days with coconut oil. A little may be okay once in a while if it's a potted plant, because it's not going to be absorbed into the earth. Whereas outdoors, it's going to be absorbed into the earth. Do not spit it into any pipe in your house. Do not spit it in your shower. Don't take a shower and then you're standing there, then you spit it down. No, don't do that. Do not spit it in the kitchen sink. Do not spit it in the bathroom sink. Do not spit it in any wash basin in your house. Why? Because at 70 degrees, this solidifies. Now, it's a little warmer than 70 degrees in the air in here, but This sits in the cabinet, and in the cabinet, it stays solid because it's winter here. In the summertime, not so much. It's liquid because the temperature is more than 70 degrees throughout the entire space, including the cabinets. So, and as you can see, it's starting to move down gradually. So if I kept this out here, it would eventually melt. 70 degrees, it solidifies. So do not put it in your pipes, because if it goes into the pipes, it's going to go underground. If it goes underground, that even though it's in the pipe, that's underneath the surface of the earth. You're talking about 55 degrees. I don't care where you are on the planet. You go down a few inches, the earth is 53, 55 degrees. 15 degrees or more less than 70 degrees. So this will solidify in the pipeline. You don't want to do that because you're going to clog up your pipes. You got to call somebody to come out and service your pipes, and so in a given time frame. You don't want to do that. So don't spit it in the pipes. Now let me talk about what that's going to do. Now, this next time frame here, stomach, breakfast. We're going to talk about what to have for breakfast briefly, and I'm going to get back to this oil pulling. So for breakfast, you're going to have fruit, fruit and only fruit, or a green smoothie. Here you see the name Egger's Smoothie. I'm going to talk about Egger's Smoothie in detail tomorrow, okay? Because I don't want to give you too much too quick. So let me back this up, and I want to show you this other organ clock. Remember, you're going to make your own organ clock. So let me back this up a bit, shrink it down. So what is it going to look like? This is what it's going to look like. This is one style. Okay. Now with this one, I went with the 12 and 6, or 12 to 12, because it's 6 hours on each side. So instead of a 12-hour clock, this is a 24-hour clock. So from 12 to 2 and so on. Excuse me. No, I twisted it a bit. So this is 11 o'clock. So like I said, the time for each organ is a 2-hour time period, starting on the odd hour, starting and ending on the odd hours. Okay, so we have the stomach and we have the spleen, and it's a little after 12 now, coming up on 1. So we're in the heart time frame. I'm not going to get ahead of myself because I don't want you to get information overload. We're going to talk about this entire clock over time. There's another clock. Let me see if I can pull that one up. Well, we'll just stick right here. Okay, so that's so much about the clock. Let me get back here so you can see me. Let me end share. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop the share. Okay, so that's the organ clock. You have the two things that you're to do in the AM now, as far as what you're putting in your mouth. You're going to do the oil pulling. If you have to leave the house on a regular basis, you don't have time, you can do a couple of things. If you're driving for more than 20 minutes, you can do your oil pulling as you're driving. However, I would suggest that you do this a minimum of 2 days out of the strong. And for most people, that'll be the strong beginning, not weekend, strong beginning. Saturday AM, Sunday AM, when you're not rushing to anywhere. You put this teaspoon in your mouth, swish it for 20 minutes, spit it outside in the yard. Oh, the other thing, if you have a paper towel, you spit it in a paper towel and put that in the trash. Okay? Oil pulling is a phenomenal tool in your healing and health maintenance arsenal, or toolbox, I'll say. Forget the arsenal. Toolbox. Because it's a tool that you're going to use for optimal health, to cleanse your body. And it's going to help, as it's pulling all of the debris, it's going to minimize the potential for the buildup of plaque, because mucus turns to plaque as it hardens. It coats vessels, it hardens tissue, and most diseases are basically compromised organ tissue, where the organs, the vessels, or the nerves, which are comprised of skin tissue, cells, and what have you, gets hardened by buildup of plaque, dried mucus inside the body. When that skin tissue becomes so dry, so brittle, so hardened, pressure can cause it to crack or break. This is the nature of disease, what we call dis-ease. We're talking about heart attack, we're talking about high blood pressure, we're talking about kidney disease, we're talking about diabetes, we're talking about aneurysm, we're talking about stroke, we're talking about practically any disease you can name. That is the foundation of the disease. Cancer is another dynamic because that's an accumulation of cells that are basically rotting within the body. That's my perspective. Cancer is rotting, accumulation of cells that basically have mutated and what have you. And, basically it's like a wad of rotten flesh within the body, not necessarily dead because cancer cells are alive. So it's rotting flesh from my perspective. Don't say I told you that the doctor said. This is Breath Master Aaron's perspective on the human body and its various constituents and components. I have my terminology, my way of expressing. You're going to have yours over time because you're going to begin to assess things in a different way and see things in a different way because you're going to open up your mind and you're going to have knowledge poured into it, and it's going to create an awareness beyond the awareness that has been put upon you. So, again, homework assignment: ask your device, show me organ clocks. You're going to take, um, you can do a snapshot, freeze frame, or whatever. You can even do that on the clock that I showed you. As far as this video, you can pause and do a screenshot. Then you're going to get a piece of paper, circular object, make that circle, draw those lines, fill in the information. That's the most crucial part. Fill in the information. Because as you're writing, you're basically going to be imprinting this information into your mind. It's one thing to sit in the classroom or whatever and just listen and memorize. It's another thing to actually write because you're going to be spelling, you're going to be creating a space in your being for that awareness. So that's your first homework assignment. Outside of doing your oil pulling and your lime water. These aren't homework assignments. This is daily process of living. So I'm not calling those homework assignments. Homework assignments are going to be those things that I'm going to give you to do outside of just the process of living. The other things are going to be informational and practical aspects of shifting your lifestyle and gaining information and doing activities that are going to allow that. And finding information, fact finding, not research. Again, with the words research, re means to do over. The prefix re means to do over. Anytime you see a word with re in front of it, whatever that word is that follows it, you're going to do it over. You know, so we're not going to research. I don't want you to search and search and search over and over again. I want you to find the fact, process it, and put it into effect as far as how it works for you. Okay? Now, we're going to do oil pulling, minimum of Saturday and Sunday. The way the world is changing, most people are home 7 days are strong, much more than they have been. 5 to 7 days, unless you're traveling or moving around, you can apply this process. Oil pulling, lime water. Then you can move to your green smoothie, and then you can brush your teeth. Or you can brush your teeth in between the lime water and the green smoothie. Now I'm gonna tell you something. When you do the oil pulling, It's going to get debris from between the gums that floss can't reach. When you floss in between the teeth. This is going to go in between and up and around the teeth and pull debris and bacteria particles that you can't see, that the floss can't reach, because you don't wrap floss around the teeth and go up inside. You know, you go to the dentist, they'll do that with a torture tool that, you know, they call it scaling when they're scraping the plaque off that's built up. But if you minimize the potential of that debris sitting there, you get that debris out of there. It's not going to sit there. It's not going to harden. It's not going to become plaque around the teeth. You minimize the potential for the torture process they call scaling at the dentist. You know, and most people who have gone to the dentist, they already know you won't want to have them do anything that you can prevent. And also, you get to hold on to your teeth. How cool is that? Okay, the gum diseases that they call pyorrhea, even gingivitis, you know, that bad breath, halitosis, done. DONE, done. Your mouth is gonna feel so clean that you feel like in the AM you're not even gonna feel like you need to brush. Do so, but I'm saying that your mouth is gonna feel so clean. And I'm going to talk about the oral hygiene in more in depth with what it is that I do, what it is that we do, and actually a product that we create that you'll be able to do the same if you decide to join the certification for the, what's the title of it? Anybody remember? You don't remember? Oh my goodness. You got to remember. It's all about you helping your family. It's all about you helping your community. It's about you gaining this knowledge and sharing these practices with them in a very simple and subtle way. You got to remember it. I'm going to tell you what it is. Okay. First word is healthy. Except that word is actually two words. Heal, Heal. What's the next word within that one word? You know how to spell healthy. First part, heal. What's the next part? THY, thy. Heal thy. Y'all didn't think about that, did you? Heal thy. When you say healthy, you're saying to yourself, heal thyself. I want to be healthy. I want to heal myself. This information within this certification that I'm talking about will help you to heal thyself, family, and your community. And you are going to be, at that point, a wellness leader, because you're going to lead your family, your health, yourself, your family, and your community towards wellness. You're going to lead them to wellness. So you're going to be a wellness leader. So the title of that process, that certification, is rather long because it's a long process. You're not going to do this in 30 seconds. This is a lifetime commitment. You're going to heal thyself. Or should I say the title is Heal Thyself, Family, Community Wellness Leader. So these things that I'm giving you now, these tidbits are things that you're going to employ. So this is your opportunity to get a jump on that. And by the way, at the end of this 30 days, there are going to be several offers. We're going to have several master classes on various components of wellness that are going to lend itself to some of these certifications. So there are going to be offers where you're going to get an opportunity to buy in to a broadcast at a nominal fee, where I'm going to teach you how to make sea moss, how to make sea moss gel, and we're going to have a sea moss workshop where I inform you about sea moss, because a lot of erroneous and twisted information is out there right now. And by the way, if you're ordering sea moss from St. Lucia, you need to do your fact finding. Right now, there is theft of sea moss because this is one of the Caribbean islands where they have actually gotten their eyes open, where they're actually increasing their industry in order to feed, you know, the demand for sea moss within the health arena. They're being, I mean, they got like 100. So ask your device, sea moss farming. Go to YouTube, sea moss farming in excuse me, in the what was it, Saint Lucia, Saint Vincent? I forgot which one. I said it a moment ago. Play it back. Okay, so excuse me, I got an interruption here. Um, I'm going to be cutting off in a moment, so I just want to get this out. If you're getting sea moss from that island, they're thieves that are stealing sea moss, and I can't say that they're selling it directly to the people who have these exorbitant prices online, but there are people online that are selling sea moss for 70, 80, $90 a pound. That's ridiculous. Do not pay that much. You shouldn't pay no more than $15, $20 a pound for sea moss, if that much. Definitely not 70, $80 a pound. So let those people go and do what they do. Do not patronize them. Yes, I'm not going against them, but I'm going for you in your pocket as far as teaching you how to maintain your life optimally, because that's not sustainable. And the fact that the industry that is developing, which should develop organically, is now having thievery and onslaught of thieves and what have you. And so, okay, let me get back on track. So much for that. So there are going to be workshops on CMOS, the workshop on Edgar's smoothie that I'll be talking about tomorrow, and you'll be able to participate in those workshops. Those workshops are going to be part and parcel of the information that you're going to learn for the Heal Thyself Family Wellness Community Wellness Leader Training. So if you get into those workshops, you'll probably have that amount that you pay for that workshop discounted from the price of the certification. So stay tuned for that. By the end of the 30-day period, you'll get all of that information. So you've got your homework assignments. You've got your additional tasks to do as far as maintaining your body. So 5 to 7 a.m. when you get up tomorrow morning, you're going to do your oil pulling for 20 minutes. You're going to have your room temperature water with the juice of half a lemon or a lime. You're going to brush your teeth or have your green smoothie and then brush your teeth. And you're going to move on with your day. You're going to ask your device, show me an organ clock or organ clocks. You're going to get your pencil and paper or markers, and you're going to get a circular, like a pot lid or a pot base or whatever, circular item. You're going to draw that circle on that piece of paper. You're going to draw your lines, get you a straight edge, and you're going to fill in that information. Everything you see on that thing, on the organ clock, you're going to fill in, and you also can, do like I did, and you can follow me. And you can actually create that circle. And then as we do this, if you want to do it on a daily basis, instead of trying to do it all at once, draw the diagram. And then when I show the information for it every day, you can actually just copy what it is that I have. And you can actually feel free to pause the recording and copy at that time. Okay. So that's pretty much it for today. I don't want to overload you. I had some other stuff that I had in mind, but I think I've given you quite a bit to process and to be able to move forward with. So with that, I'm going to say, see you tomorrow.